This is LTV.
Inside Leominster is brought to you in part through the generous support of N.P. Crowley Company Incorporated and by DeCarolis Insurance Agency Incorporated, DeCarolisinsuranceagency.com, and by Enterprise Bank. Enterprise Bank, create success, enterprisebanking.com.
Hello and welcome to Inside Leominster. My name is Dean Mazzarella, Mayor for the city, and we're live this afternoon as we are each and every Thursday. And our guest today is Wendy Wiiks. We'll be talking about the various projects happening in and around the city. And not a bad day, still humid out there. It's not hot, it's humid. It's the humidity we're trying to get rid of. And it's not in here, it's actually nice in here. And anyway, thanks, we're back here, and we were off last week, but here we are, and speaking of off last week, guess who's here? It's Art. It's time for the Art Report. Art, are you out there?
Yes, I am. I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Whatever happened to July?
It's, what happened to June?
Have you ever? You know, it's interesting, too. I'm noticing, I could be wrong. It could be an age thing, but of all the events that we have in Althea City for the public,
Yeah.
there's a tremendous amount of folks in the 30 to 40 range, age-wise, with little families that go to those. And that's a real strong, and it's strong, very strong in presence, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's big time around here. It's the reason that we, there we go. See if I can share this. Hang on. I'm trying to share this. It won't share. Well, a big thing that we tried to do is to keep it affordable for families. And it's tough right now. It always is, right? When you have a young family, you know how it is. When you get that young family, it just seems, you know, it's the beginning of maybe your first apartment or your first house. And it just seems like every penny is allotted for. So you try to take the kids somewhere. I can't, nothing against Six Flags or those places. I cannot imagine how families, maybe once a year you can afford it, but I can't imagine how people are going to Disney or Six Flags.
And you know, you mentioned
or
families.
even out to eat.
You mentioned families. almost 17 years ago, my daughter, son-in-law, my wife, and I went to El Forno's to eat with her newborn, maybe 10, 11-month-old son, Matthew. Fast forward 17 years later, about 2 weeks ago on a Saturday, my son-in-law, daughter, grandson came up and we went to El Forno's, which is where he was brought when he was about 10 months old.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it. Mike come over, Mohammed, the owner, and he gave him a kiss on the cheek. We told him this is our first grandchild. So we walk in there a couple Saturdays ago, and Mike comes over because we've been going to him since he opened.
Right.
And we're on a first name basis with him. So he comes wandering over, and hi, Mike. I said, my son-in-law, daughter, and I said, do you remember about 16, 17 years ago when you were in Fitchburg? We come in and we had my little grandson. He said, oh, sure. I said, well, guess what? He said, what's that? I said, well, we brought him here that day in a little cradle. Today, he drove here. This is my grandson. Mike couldn't believe it. He said, he drove here? I goes, yeah. He's now got his driver's license, and he's 6 foot tall, plays football. It's amazing how time flies with families.
Yeah, sure. I've hit that point where it's just, it's like winter I used to dread only because it lasted so long. It seemed like it lasted forever, and it was like, okay, it's getting old. and you're looking forward to spring, and it just seems like it wouldn't come. This year and last year, year before, it just flew right by. It just flew right. And a lot of things that we wanted to do in the winter, just things that we wanted to do, little things, a day trip or a half a day trip, we just never got to do. We never got to do those things. So,
well, and that's another thing. I'll never forget it, when we were in our 20s, just married, Rita's aunts and uncles instilled in her to travel while you're young, because we were going to do that, and we waited till we decided to wait till we retired. Then we retired, and then guess what? We either couldn't walk good or do this good, so we never got to travel. Do it while you're healthy.
Yeah, well,
and that's exactly what we did. I mean, when we went to Italy, we were in our late 30s and early 40s. And, there's a lot of walking on those tours. And it was a wonderful trip, and I'm so glad we did that, because if we had waited till we got well into retirement, we wouldn't have been able to do it.
Right. No, there's something to be said for that, right? There's a time for everything, I guess. Little kids.
There is. There really is.
Time for visiting.
And the guy, I'll never forget it, and the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the hot dog vendor was from Massachusetts.
I remember you telling me that.
Yep, and I bought a hot dog.
A hot dog in Italy.
I didn't see any ravioli vendors, so I bought a hot dog.
No, I get it. That's a good
one.
one.
My wife, I'll never forget it, in a loud voice, she said, only you would fly 8 hours to get a hot dog.
Somebody else was buying them, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't as good as they are here, though, for some reason.
No, it's not much.
I don't know.
Not as much bad stuff in it.
And today, timing's everything. I said, I'm going to put the hose out. I got a water. Just as I brought it out, we had that period of rain. Probably wasn't enough to get it back to where I'd like it, but it helped anyway.
Yeah, of course.
That's about it, my friend.
Over and out, as they say.
Yep, stay cool.
Yes, that's the plan.
Next week, I should be able to report on how the machines are in Connecticut.
Oh.
I will be venturing down there solo, and it should be interesting.
I've
been saving my pennies.
I'm sending you good luck. Passing on my good luck.
Thank you very much. I will have a blow-by-blow description.
Well, have fun. Have fun and good luck.
Right. Bye-bye. We will.
Don't mortgage the house. Inside Leominster, that was Art from the Art Report at 978-534-1626. You're welcome to call in if you'd like. I run into a lot of people during the week, and they're like, I don't know, I just like to watch. I'm like, well, sometimes I'm not sure anybody's out there. And like, oh, no, we're out here. And I'm like, well, just call and say hello or something. Call and harass the crew behind the window back there, right? What are you holding the phone for? What's going on back there?
Oh, this is our feed. I'm just monitoring it.
Oh, you're watching? So at first I thought I wasn't on, but I guess
yeah, you're on.
I'm on. All right, we're going to take a short break, and then we're also doing, what are we going to do? We're going to do what's popping tonight? We're going to do it?
Yep.
And is there food involved, you said?
There's food, but it doesn't really have to do with what's popping.
Oh, all right.
It is a trend.
Speaking of food, these are the blueberries from Sholin Farms. Now, I was supposed to have a full container, but the container opened up on the way here, so there's only like a small. Look at the size of these blueberries. Look at these things. They're massive. So they're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I'll give you more information when we come back, right here at Inside Leominster. Be right back.
My name is Donna Fortunato, and my business is Belladonna Consignment Boutique. I've been in retail management all my life. I actually got unemployed, and I was working for a little shop, local, and people just kept coming in saying, are you the owner? You acted. And then it was to the point where people were saying, you should open your own. You should open your own. So I was like, okay. The higher power, like Dean said, he told me to open my own shop. So I opened my own shop, and it's almost 10 years in October. I like the repurpose and recycling. I like one-of-a-kind items. Because people come in and they're like, oh, one-of-a-kind items. I do have a lot of other items in the store that have a good size run, but that's besides the consignment part, that's the boutique part. So I like a little variety in the shop. My personal opinion is consignment is like the one-of-a-kind items where you can find rare looking, or vintage. I don't have a lot of vintage items. The boutique is, the cleanliness, the neatness, the personal items, as in like brand new items, I should say, the brand new items that I can get from other vendors. I do work with a girl in Leominster. She makes my jewelry, so she's like a vendor. So it's brand new and not consignment. Oh, and I love supporting. I do not shop the big chains. I'm all about small businesses because I am a small business, so I want people to support me too. I'm a very, I love working with customers, and you don't see customer service a lot lately, especially when the girls come in here for prom. I love working with them one-on-one. When they come out and they start crying, and then the mother starts crying, and then the father started crying. This happened in my old location, and I was like, oh my word, they're gonna make me cry. That was one moment in the prom, season that really was like, wow, the whole family started crying because they were so happy that she picked the dress. So I was previously in Westminster for 9 years. I've been dying to get back to my roots. I lived right up the street, so I was born and raised here. The community. You can't ask for a better community. And it's great being here in Leominster because you got the support of you guys, the mayor, everybody at the city hall. So it's great because, I needed that. Yeah.
Yes, we are back here at Inside Leominster. We're live this afternoon, 978-534-1626. Blueberries. Blueberries are so good for you. Just, I know this is more of a, people watch reels on Facebook and or YouTube, and then you've got TikTok. But I gotta say, it's starting to get confusing. There are all these little clips, and it'll be somebody will say, my name's John, I'm a board certified, cardiologist. There's 3 things I'd never eat. And then they say, bacon juice and, bread because it turns into sugar and, something else. And the other day it was good because, it was funny because there was board certified nutritionist or something, I don't know what it was. But so one of them said 4 things that you absolutely have to eat every day. And blueberries was one of them, and kiwi was another, avocado was another, and I forget the other.
Blackberries.
2 seconds later, literally, I go down and watch another reel. You know what it said? 4 things I would never eat as a board-certified nutritionist. Kiwi. I'm like, wait a minute. Do you eat it or don't you? So no matter what you're watching, it's in other words, all this information was supposed to help us. It's made things confusing. It is. It's made. So one says, then, one of the things that this board-certified nutritionist said is, don't eat spinach. I'm like, don't eat spinach? I thought spinach was good for you. So it's very confusing. And you wonder, like, who are these people and are they really board-certified anything? Anyway. All right, caller, welcome to the show.
Heidi.
Is that Crystal?
It's Crystal.
Crystal!
Yes, it's Crystal.
What's going
How
on,
are
Crystal?
you?
I'm good.
Not much.
It's nice in here.
Work was good today.
Oh, good. No humidity here at the LTV studios.
No, your buddy Mark is doing good.
I got to tell Mark. I got to talk to him about a couple things.
Oh, yeah, he needs to talk to you about the wrestling thing.
Yes, we're going to wrestle. I'm going to get Scott in there to wrestle. Scott looks like a wrestler. He can wrestle.
I'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right. See you later.
Bye.
Anyway, there's a lot of information out there, but boy, sometimes it can get confusing, and that was just one example of. So I'm not sure what to eat and not, But you got to remember there are a lot of people pushing a certain agenda out there. So if a certain business, a certain segment of a business wants you to eat whatever, then they make these clips. They pay people to do them, but they don't make them look like their names on them. So just push people to get out there and say, this is what I would do, or this is where I would go, or 5 places I would visit if I was in Rhode Island or something. Well, a lot of that is, somebody's getting paid to get that message out. So our message is busy, busy summer. I was saying at the opening of the show here, when we first opened the show, that didn't seem, I said, where'd July go, or whatever. It doesn't slow down anymore. It used to be after July 4th, but right up until it was like the week before school was back in session, it seemed to get manageable or quiet down a little. And people, it appeared that people planted their flowers, they went to the graves and planted them, they cleaned the yard, they got everything ready, and then they just didn't want to talk to you, just want to enjoy the summer. And now, that 24/7 society, it never ends. There is no end to the day or nothing. It's just a big loop. And so here we are, the 25th, 5 months till Christmas. You got that? 5 months to Christmas. It's just amazing. And where'd the first 7 months of the year go? It's just gone. How your New Year's, Scott? How your New Year's resolutions coming?
What New Year's resolution?
Yeah. See, I mean, anybody back there have a New Year's resolution that you made? No, huh?
Didn't keep it.
Well, this is the time to reboot. Maybe you can, it's like, yeah, I was hoping to do this. And it's kind of hard to keep these New Year's resolutions. Anyway, we're here, and I just want to remind you that it's blueberry season back at Sholin Farms, and they're open. Just look for the yellow berry shed. There's a yellow shed out there. It's a little small shed. The regular farm stand is not open just yet. But anyway, they're going to provide, a little container for you, and go out there and pick your blueberries. There's so many of them. You're not going to have any trouble at all finding blueberries, and they're all big, every single one of them. And you can get over 10 pounds. If you want to go up there and pack them and freeze them. And I caution you, because you can Google how to freeze blueberries properly, but make sure it's not somebody from the strawberry family that's trying to hurt the blueberry business, because they'll end up bad on you. So make sure check for a good source that you can count on. And this is, let's see, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. All right, so it's Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 8 to 11. It's the best time in the middle of summer to pick blueberries. You don't want to be out there in the, after 11 o'clock in the morning, with the sun beating down on you. And it actually, the berries get a little warm. They don't taste as good. So, all right. Anyway, Wendy Wiiks is Grand Administrator for the City of Leominster. She's here. She can update us on all the different projects that are happening.
What happened to you? The blueberry container opened?
I had an accident. It was full to the top. Thank you, Joanne Donato. And it was filled to the top. And there was an accident. The lid came off, and I had to salvage those blueberries. So, boy, it's one of those things. You start eating one, I'll have another. It's like eating M&Ms, another, and I had to keep some for the show. But there's not much left here. But they're good, though. They're very tasty. So thank you to Sholin Farms. And if you'd like to volunteer at Sholin Farms, sholinfarms.com.
We're busy.
It has not slowed down.
There was a flood.
Yeah, it was a flood, all right.
And
Wendy showed me all the paperwork from the flood the other day. It was like that much paperwork. Wow.
And the other pile's ARPA.
Right. So what are we working on?
So
We've
we got some
things happening.
We got some slides. We got some slides.
Slides?
We're gonna
We got
look at,
slides.
Yeah, we're going to look at
Everywhere
pictures.
slide. All right.
So the flood complicated things a little bit, but we're still on track with our projects that were underway. So the top of this picture is down by the connector. We've had some difficulties with erosion, and that's where our main infrastructure is for our sewer plant. So FEMA gave us a grant for phase 1 of that, which is closest to the connector itself. And that on the top is the fix to that, which was a stabilization project. And just in 3 months, that is the growth that is supposed to happen with that project, because
Right.
it's supposed to be a natural setting.
And it really does look nice down there.
With the stabilization rocks underneath it and all the fixes to that project. So that's the completion of that project, but it looks FEMA came down the other day and they said it looks exactly like it's supposed to look.
Really? So they were happy with it?
Yeah. So at the bottom of this picture is the connector. Phase 1 is what we just talked about. The treatment plant's to the left. And
there was a lot of erosion here, and
Yeah.
that's the purpose of this project.
And so soon, I think we're going to be hearing good news about phase 2 of this project, which is upstream a little bit toward the other end of the treatment plant. In the meantime, there was some unexpected erosion from September 11th flood, which was in the middle. So our state delegation is getting us some money for that fix. So hopefully that'll be completely paid for, but it's a long federal process. It's a long to get it permitted and everything else, but we're getting there. So that's a good thing.
I mean, one of the things that happened is before, when they built the connector, remember the backside of this was the landfill and just land. And you got to kind of wonder whether or not some of it was altered during construction. And funny thing about Mother Nature is, and water is, you really can't mess with it. You might think that you can kind of channel it and move it for, in your plan. The reality is, when something big happens, Mother Nature is going to dictate where Mother Nature is going to send the water. And generally, it's back to where it was 1,000 years ago.
Right.
And so, we see when you add a road to something, and you may be messing around with the curves of the river, that that one of them is going to give, and it's probably going to be humans who built the roadway, and they have the irrigation,
But that storm damage portion was engineered. It was fine until the September 11th. It was absolutely fine.
That's the new section there.
The storm damage was certified by engineers, and then the water came through, and
it just
that's it.
blew it out.
Yeah.
Right. Amazing.
So this is downtown. This was the good news we got last week. The red box.
Now, we were already in for this, correct? We were
4
already
years.
4 years in the making, and it's a very lengthy process of, just convincing to get the money to do the engineering and the planning part. But at the end of the day, it's again, the sides of the Monoosnock Brook, after all of these years, cannot handle the storms that we've had. And in 2015 or later, when we had that, freeze, melt, freeze, that moves the earth around. And that's when we had our first collapse of the wall system out there, closest to where Rubens used to be. And that's the first section that we looked at and said, the rest of it has got to go too. Over where the parking lot is at between Brady's and the old Fix, there were buildings on that at one time, and there's still structure underneath it that you can't see. And so all of this is going to be reconstructed. So not only will it stabilize the passage areas for the brook, but it's going to give it a whole new look over there.
So that's a $6 million project that we got $6 million from FEMA, and the green box is the new damage that occurred from the storm, which is hopefully going to be covered by federal highway funds. We have a whole bunch of projects in for federal highway. So I guess the point is that we're not leaving any pot of money not looked at.
Well,
we're applying for
I think
everything.
what we've agreed on is the FEMA didn't provide, or the president didn't sign off for that assistance for the public assistance part. And so we were going to need to, the second plan is to go after each different funding source, but that means applications and everything to even get to the point where so it's a lengthy, like Monoosnock Brook, it starts off convincing them that we need the money to just get started on engineering, feasibility, all of that. But then it's a long process after that. They actually wanted us to daylight, to take down the parking lot that goes over the river. That would have been nice to have it daylighted, but where would you put all those cars that park there for the restaurants? There's no other, there are no other, we would have had to build another parking garage on the east side of the railroad tracks or something. I don't even know where we would have had to buy some buildings on Mount Pleasant Ave, and there's just no place to park.
Yeah.
So that's what it's going to look like.
Yeah, so the entire culvert underneath the parking lot will be replaced, and both sides of the Moosonee Brook will be stabilized, and it'll be green space, and then there'll be sort of a park at the end, but closest to Mechanic Street. So it'll be nice for people to grab their lunch and go sit over there. So kind of new to us after the flood was that we had many federal aid roads in Leominster, and those are not FEMA eligible, even if we'd gotten the declaration. So we worked with MassDOT and put in a huge application for probably about 13 or 14 projects to be covered under federal highway. So these are some of the major ones: Exchange Street, Mechanic Street, which is the part next to Moosonee, Pleasant and Colburn.
We got that wall down there at Malbin Street, right in the corner there. That's just another rainstorm away from having that whole side just leave us.
Yeah. So this is in progress. This is about a little over 10 million.
Nice.
So hopefully we'll get that soon.
978-534-1626 if you have any questions.
So this is a project that we just completed, or the sidewalks, the only thing left to be done. This is the extension of Orchard Hill Park Drive.
So if you go up behind Target, that road, if you're going into Lunenburg, if you go straight, you're going to see another street in front of you now. It kind of, the existing road kind of curves off to the right. You're going to see this brand new road in front of you, correct?
Yes. And it's the MassWorks grant, which is a grant the state offers for communities to put in infrastructure to attract new businesses. So if, like you like to tell the story about how originally when we started Orchard Hill Park, the sewer and water was seemingly miles away.
Yeah, we'd stand up by where Target is now, probably over where, we used to stand up at the top of the hill, so it's probably near where the ice cream place used to be. Cold Stone, are they still there? Cold Stone Creamery? Right about there, we'd stand in the out front there, and they'd say, wow, we love this property. And they'd say, well, where are the utilities, like water, sewer, gas, all that? And I'd say, it's down by the mall. And they're like, where's the mall? I said, about 2 miles away. So it's been 30 years of bringing the infrastructure closer and closer and closer and closer. And then we opened up that road between, the road used to end at Pioneer Park, and you couldn't get from Target into Lunenburg. So we were able to get that opened up, and I'm amazed at how many people. That's a busy street now. Now that's all traffic we took off of North Leominster.
That's right.
And it's a busy road.
So this is a project that's currently underway. It's a new project. It's a new program for the state called Housing Works, which is the sister program to MassWorks. And instead of industry and commercial being the match, it's housing. So this is the match to the private development that's being built, the Journey Home project on Marcello Ave.
Right.
So we're doing $3 million worth of infrastructure around the whole area. Sewer relining, new water mains, sidewalks. We put in that, you had pictures before of that huge sewer line that was installed underneath the railroad. That was an $800,000 piece of this. So it's going to make that whole neighborhood more walkable, connect to the train station, and paving, and it's going to really improve that neighborhood.
Great project.
A lot of these pipes are really old, but we've checked off a lot of boxes in terms of sewer and water.
We can get a lot done.
This is a project that's going to happen soon. We got a $400,000 grant for the redevelopment of Prospect Park. We're not really changing the park a whole lot in terms of expansion, but we're going to keep it. We're going to enhance the trail around the water, around the park. We're going to build a new kiosk, new parking lot. It's not going to be intrusive to the neighborhood. It's going to make it a much better park on the land where it is.
It started off as a piece of land, and then a couple things added to it, but it's never really been built as a park.
Right. And people really don't know where it is. It's
one of the amazing thing is, I think that it's if you're coming up from North Leominster from Main Street, and you go up about 1.5 miles after Lawrence Street, it's on the right-hand side. And it's kind of weird because people don't know where it is. And even though we put a sign out there, because it sits off the side of the road, this is really going to help it. I think it's a nice little park up there. It's not busy, but it's really, there's a little trickling brook back there. It's a great neighborhood park and a great addition for the area, North Leominster, you know.
It's really good for those people who just need a short walk.
Right.
To, you know, that's not overwhelming and in the woods.
Handicap accessible.
Yeah. So this is the piece of property that we just bought up off of Pierce Street, 53 acres. And at the Conservation Commission the other night, the rail trail people were there, and they are all excited. They have a plan. They're going to start in September for creating trails on this property.
Wow,
We're not
wonderful.
going to take down trees, and they're just going to create it within.
Can you bring that slide back up for a second? Just so people could see it. So this is if you're coming up Pierce Street from Prospect Street, go all the way, and there's a curve there, like a 45, like a real sharp curve. If you were to go straight, not take the curve, that land is right there. And it goes into the, what do they call that? What do they call the lake out there in Lunenburg?
Massapog.
Massapog. There's a lake out there called Massapog. You can see a piece of it. It's a beautiful piece of land, and you know, part of our open space plan and you know, land protection plan. Right? You can't build on everything.
And we're still busy, you know. We got a lot of things in the hopper here. We got.
Can we talk about who's coming next week, or no? Is that not public information?
Well, you know, they sent out the invite, so why not?
The governor will be here next Thursday, is it?
Yes.
Next Thursday, the governor will be here. Hear that, Scott? Did you guys know about that?
Not yet. There's,
I'll let
they're
you.
sending out a press thing.
Yeah. They handle all that stuff. They got people.
Yeah, they got people.
peeps. They got peeps. About 26 minutes left. Does that sound right? 26 and a half minutes left inside Leominster here. 534-1626 is the phone number. It's Thursday. And it's nice in here. Boy, that AC
Very
feels
nice.
good. You know, I didn't have an automobile until around after 2000, I think, that had air conditioning in it. Now, I don't know if I can live without it. I have to drive around in my car with ice and a little wireless fan. All right, what else? Let's get back to that list here.
So, one of the priorities has really been to help Shoalin expand. And it's
Yes.
difficult for them to expand because they don't have sewer water. And so the DPW and I decided that we were going to put together a master list of everything it would take to get that sewer water up there, the pump station, sidewalk on one side of the street. And we submitted for it, and we don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. But, you know, a lot of the people who live on that street would like, you know,
Hook into
sewer,
sewer,
water,
yeah.
and so that's pending. The grant application for Burridge Ave is going to be the subject of next week's visit.
Yeah, we don't want to ruin the surprise.
No.
But that's an area, a very low area. Water comes from Main Street. It sort of comes from the other side of Pierce Street, and everything just sort of flows in that direction.
So we also got a federal earmark, which I think is the first time we've ever really gotten something like that for a project to build a community center on the east side on the 3rd Street, on 3rd Street. So we're working on that, doing a site.
We see how busy that Parker is. The Spanish Center runs programs down there, and a lot of programs. And now there'll be a little community center. It's not huge.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be huge, but just a center where we could share it with the Spanish Center, the Boys and Girls Club, the YMCA if they wanted, the school department, the rec department. So many other people could make use of it.
Even if New View wants to come down and do a
Newview
small
could come
class.
down. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. And we're still taking advantage of things like green communities, and the, you know, that's a program we were one of the first communities to be a green community, so we've gotten a lot of money, about $250,000 a year for probably 15 years from them. So this year we're doing upgrades to some city hall offices with upgrading the heating, cooling units, and the senior center weatherization and some heat pumps.
And we're going to be
They
doing
love heat
windows at
pumps.
City Hall.
We're going to be doing windows. We are. And then we're going to start to, we're pursuing the application for Pleasant Street, the property adjacent to Shoalin Farms, which
And that
everyone's excited
connects
about.
the school to
Yep.
the
Shoalin.
Shoalin
Yeah.
Farms.
Yeah.
Imagine how cool it'd be if you lived up on Pleasant Street and you're a kid. You could walk through the trail and go to school in the morning, like Huck Finn,
Yeah.
like Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer.
So yeah,
We're busy.
We're busy.
A lot going
And
on.
we're still spending our ARPA money
Yeah,
on good
no.
stuff. Oh, and we have an application in for a fire truck, a ladder
That's
truck.
right. We have
$1.7 million now for a ladder truck.
Wow, imagine that. It's almost $2 million for a ladder truck. Incredible. Well, they take good care of the equipment down there,
They do.
so that's not a concern.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Wendy. Anything
welcome.
else?
No.
We're going to take a short break, and I'll keep eating blueberries. I'm trying not to. You heard that little crackling sound in the back? That was me opening the container. But we're going to take a short break and remind you that Starburst is this week, the 27th, right? Saturday night over at Doyle Field. Neurotic Gumbo plays, and we have fireworks. I would count on the fireworks. They said by August 3rd, it will be getting dark at like 8. And in another 2 weeks after that, it'll be like 7:30. So anyway, fireworks around 9-ish, somewhere around there it seems to be. But yeah, come down. There's no cost. Come down. I mean, if you want to buy food or something like that, there's a cost to that, but that's it. We'll be right back with more Inside Leominster.
Okay.
Okay, ready? You all set?
All set?
Ready?
Ready?
3, 2, 1. Got a little citation here for you from all of us. These are all different city people that came in here from different departments of the city. And when you first came in to see us, you did a beautiful job. It's gorgeous inside. They're all new, everything inside. Even the seating and the tables, everything. It's immaculate and clean inside. And what's the address here on North Main Street? 61 North Main Street. They're going to open tomorrow, which is Saturday the 22nd. And there's air conditioning in there, and it's just immaculately clean. And they'll be ready to go tomorrow, so stop by. They invested a lot here in the community, and now it's up to us to help them to be successful. So we have a little citation here for you. I want to congratulate you all. Yeah? Okay. There you go. Tell us what you were telling us inside about what your overall goal was, and why you wanted to, bring food here.
What kind of food? Yeah.
We did it. He did it. He did it. Blame him.
Dile que vamos a tener churrasco, silo, tenemos. It's never.
Just say what you said inside. That was perfect. That was perfect.
Well, as a multicultural group, we decided to invest in the city of Leominster because we see the big growth potential that a restaurant in this area will have. And the main focus as of why we decided to go to a restaurant is because we wanted to make food affordable and good quality.
Queremos hacer la diferencia.
We wanted to make the difference.
Vamos a tener la 3D.
So you said multicultural.
Yes, we have
Mexicans,
Dominicans,
oh my goodness.
Honduras,
You all get along with
every part of the Caribbean.
Good. So the food's going to be really good.
It's going to be good, and we're going to have diversity. That's something other places lack.
Que hemos practicado mucho para hacer lo posible de que a partir de mañana la gente tenga una buena experiencia con el servicio que le den.
We need to invest in a lot of time, effort, money.
It's not cheap to open a restaurant, trust me. It's not. It's very expensive, right?
Yeah.
And right, it's very expensive, but that's why it's up to us to come back here and help them out. And you have orders to go, right? You can sit inside, or you can get orders to go. And as I said, cleanliness is like, for me, the most important thing, and it's immaculate. 1 minute, and then they blueberry. We're back. All right, thank you. They're right on North Main Street, right next to City Tire, and immaculate in there, clean, all new equipment, great food, and affordable. And great addition.
You know, you got to support these small businesses. I remember in 2008 and beyond, and even when I first took over as mayor, one of the big things is people like, there's no stores downtown. And like, well, that wave of stores left because people stopped supporting them. People went to, bigger retail centers. And of course, you can't get everything from a little mom and pop anyway. But places like Allen's, over 100 years in business. Places like High Country Workwear High Country Workwear, to me, is like Disney. You ever been in there at all?
No.
Oh, just incredible. Allen's, there was so many, local businesses that we have that you don't have to spend every dollar there, but if everybody spends a little bit there, that really helps. 978-534-1626. All right, let's do What's Poppin'.
You got food first.
We got food first. Am I supposed to eat this?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have to guess the movie it's from. It's a spinach puff.
The movie.
It's a movie that's very famous with Gen Z. It's animated, and it's from 2000.
So it's not like the guy that goes up with the balloons or anything? the
No,
old
it's
guy.
not. It's
not
not
Toy
up.
Story. It's not
You're right with Disney. It is Disney.
a Disney. Oh. I actually know what it is. I can't remember. But I just saw this the other day, and I'm like, what? They watch? This is like a big movie to them? What is it?
Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah. All right. So I saw it, and I'm like, but I don't know. I didn't think it was a great movie or anything. It's just the lines, some of the lines that are sort of.
My
this is
spinach
really good.
puffs.
It's what?
When he says, my spinach puffs, because he wants to be a chef.
Ooh.
So that is cream cheese, dill, bacon, shallots, and 3 types of cheese.
3.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Thank you.
All right, we can end the show now. All right. Let's go with What's Poppin'. What's Poppin' is a segment here by our Generation Z staff back there, the team, the 3-tier team. And July 17th, Shogun leads all Emmy nominees with 25, and The Bear sets comedy series record with 23. So that's the big thing right now?
Yep. The Bear.
And do they watch it all? I mean, you guys watch it?
The Bear's my favorite show. I love The Bear.
They don't watch it, though.
Really? No? Oh, man, it's great. I
This
started
is
watching Shogun.
This is the show that they say it got awards for the best comedy, but people say it's not a comedy.
No, because people don't want to accept that a drama can be 30 minutes long. Each episode is like 30 minutes.
All right. Eminem ends Taylor Swift's chart run with his 11th #1 album with the death of Slim Shady. Now, I heard some of his new stuff. It all has a sound that's the same, but it's different, right? The original, which is I think what everybody remembers him for, is the Slim Shady, right?
The Slim Shady show.
Please stand up. Please stand, and all that stuff, right? That's the stuff that people, but obviously the words in the story are a little bit different. And, I thought the song, and I think it was the #1 song on the album that they're playing.
Houdini.
And it's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like Houdini too.
How old is he now? Eminem's probably ready for retirement.
I think he's like almost 50.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's
he
like
ain't some
45,
street punk
46.
kid that started out doing rap. He's well respected, though. That's the other thing that's pretty interesting is in the rap world, he's respected by everybody pretty much. But he can get a little jabby out there. He puts a little jab out there to other rappers and stuff. Tries to make political statements.
The year he won the Oscar, he didn't think he was going to win for Lose Yourself for 8 Mile. He thought U2 was going to win, and he didn't want to take away their moment, so he didn't show up at the Oscars. And he won.
And he won. Well, he's done all right. And July 24th, which is yesterday, Salt Lake City confirmed as host for the 2034 Winter Games by the International Olympic Committee. And did I see Celine Dion is going to be part of the opening ceremonies?
She is going to be the opening performer for Paris.
Now, she's an amazing lady. She had a studio built in Vegas and had an apartment built out back so she could, be with her kids. She's a talent. She's not a showboat. She's a true talent, and she doesn't have to lip sync.
She's really funny too.
Yeah, no, she's a good person. College, university graduating classes of the 2019 and 22 classes are expected to owe an average of $36,600 in student debt. In recent years, Generation Zers believe that college is not worth the cost. Now, we went through that whole time in life where you had to go to college. You were never going to be anything unless you went to college. Well, a lot of kids went to school for college, but there was no jobs in those areas that they went to school for. So now we've gone the other way, right? Where people are like, yeah, and let's face it, many businesses will hire you and send you to school to learn in that field that you're working in. So it's actually applicable, right? Applicable to what it is that you're doing for work. In one study, only 51% of Generation Zers, teens, are interested in pursuing a 4-year college degree. You can always go 2, right? Get started. Generation Z are increasingly choosing trade schools over college because it's a straight path to a 6-figure job. Very true. What's the stats say? 65% of Generation Z students are enrolled in college. 44% of Generation Z live with a parent who has a college degree. 39% of Generation Zers say higher education is important. But that leaves a huge percentage saying it's not. Half of college grads are working jobs that don't use their degrees, just like I said. 2019, an estimated 20% to 50% of students entering college as undecided. So they weren't sure what they wanted to do. It's not the worst thing, because sometimes if you're in the middle of I'm not sure what I want to do and doing something dumb, not a bad place to be. About 28% of Generation Z college students have delayed enrollment or taken a gap year, so they took a year off. The 3 most common degrees among Generation Z: business, engineering, and nursing. And those are all places you can get a job.
Yep.
Nothing against art, but unless you're going to be an art teacher or something, right? I mean, there's limited jobs in that area. The word of this week, sending me.
Sending me.
Sending me. Let me think for a moment what sending me might mean. Connecting.
Let's take a look.
Another term to use if you find something particularly funny. Oh, all right.
You're sending me in stitches.
I don't know. I mean, do you guys use that term? You do? It seems like a lot of work. Why don't you just say it's funny?
Or laugh.
Well, laugh.
Yeah.
Smile. I mean, you got 2 words in there. It's a lot of work, you guys. It's supposed to be minimizing things. All right. We got pictures of the week this week?
Yeah. Bring that up.
Don't forget, Italian Fest is August 3rd. The 6th is the National Night Out. That's always fun, National Night Out. So we just had a meeting for the Italian Festival. Bigger than last year.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. It's amazing. We got so much good food and 2 bands. Colonial Band is actually going to be performing. They were at City Hall the other night because it was, the weather was muggy and you had a thunderstorm. They're just, what a treasure to have them here in the city. The Colonial Band, over 100 years old, and played Henry Mancini. It was really, really good. And LTV was out there to film it.
Yep.
For
One of our members. Yep.
For people that can't get out, maybe it's too late for them, or they don't have transportation, or they're not feeling well. You can sit in your house and watch a concert. Imagine that. And they were good. They were really good. All right, so let's do pictures of the week. There we go. We're getting closer to finishing up downtown. We brought the furniture in. we'll be bringing benches in, and trash receptacles, I think, went in today. They're setting up the sound system. So, yeah, we're going to be ready to go. It's going to be a lot of fun. Beautiful flowers out there. And it really lends itself to, those tables can be moved around. You could put an event over there. You can have an art show. You can have a small concert over there. And just about another week, we're going to start our, we do a little concert series. We try to feature local artists on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. This year, we're going to move it right here, right in front. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Route 2 work continues. They'll be paving sometime, I believe in August. They'll be finishing the landscape in September, and they'll be getting out of there this fall. And there we are. A big thank you to Leominster Credit Union. They are the main sponsor. They have been. They always step up to the plate, and they help sponsor the fireworks for Starburst. So we thank them at Leominster Credit Union. They're going to get a name change. I haven't quite predicted what that name change might be, but they're going to, and for obvious reasons. It's Leominster Credit Union, but it's out in Holden. They've got branches all over the place, so that's fine. And here we go, Soul Serenity, over there, also on North Main Street, right next to Don's Diner, and they had I had a conflict, so I couldn't be there, but they had their little grand opening. So many businesses that are starting out there. It's quite something. Greening the Gateway City tree planting program, and for Arbor Day, we went over and planted some trees because the kids run around at Doyle Field and they get hot, and to have trees, what a difference it really is when it's really hot out. You go under a tree, you're like, wow, it's like 20 degrees difference. And so they planted some beautiful trees there, and those things will grow probably 4 or 5 feet in a year. So altogether now in Leominster, since we've run this program, over 3,000 trees. Free.
Wow.
Free trees. All right. We'll go to the next slide. Sunshine Bunch at Leominster Recreation Department. They have had so many activities at the rec department this year. It is amazing. It is incredible. I can't think. There are things I couldn't even think of in terms of let's try adding this or that. They have everything. The same thing at the public library. The schools have run programs, but it's been a busy summer. Keep kids busy, right? I mean, that's the thing. And town takeover day at the Woosocks. We had a lot of fun. We had some laughs there, and yeah, it was a good day. It was packed. The first time we didn't, it was just Leominster, and it was busy, but it was really hot. And it was like a game at like 2 in the afternoon. Yeah. It was hot, and but. Not this day. This day was hot. I'll say it was hot. But the place was packed. I mean, packed. And every seat's a good seat there. Anyway, to the town takeover. Play ball. Get to throw the pitch out, which was fun. Thank you. And plenty of room at the new park for our eagle. A lot of people said, well, there's some people that don't like the eagle and the flamingo. It's tacky. I know, I get it, but if you're a little kid, this is like larger than life.
Yeah.
This is big. So Flamingo Day, and we're catching up because we had a couple of events that we didn't get a chance to share pictures with you. Water main installation on Bartlett Street. Some of the water might be a little discolored up in those areas, but up around where the senior complex is off of, what street is it? Bartlett Street. I don't know why we put Bartlett, but it's the, it'll come to me. Blossom, right off of Blossom Street. And the storm pipe replacement on Nashua Street. The old corrugated pipes that they put in like 1 million years ago. Well, they're steel, they're rotted out. So one by one, we're out there replacing them. And nice job to the DPW. Then we had a water main break in Maine, and DPW responded. This was a case where early in the morning, people getting up. I'm up early. So they started messaging me saying, hey, I got up, I'm ready to head to work. There's no water, I was gonna take my shower. It's very helpful when they can let us know this stuff, because generally if you get 1 or 2 calls where there's no water or really low pressure, it's a water break.
Yeah.
And this helps us to determine where that is, and fast, so we're not losing a lot of water. And Senator Markey delivered $6 million for the Moosonee Brook. And so there we were all down at Moosonee Brook. We started out at on Pleasant Street where they had the flooding, and then over to Adams Street to show a couple of more of the projects and the impact. And then we met over here right in front of the Moosonee Brook. And FEMA did a site visit at the North Nashua. We thank them for coming out. You know, you can see things on, you know, on plans and everything, but there's nothing like being right there.
Right.
You know? Well, thank you. That was, we're caught up now. We did that was a lot of information in one show. Little drink of the water, 978-534-1626. A couple other things I think I was going to share with you. It's Carousel Day.
Oh, wow.
It's National Hire a Veteran Day, National Chili Dog Day, National Hot Fudge Sundae Day. You could eat your hot fudge sundae after you eat your chili dog on a merry-go-round because it's National Merry-Go-Round Day. And it's National Wine and Cheese Day. Did you know that in 1946, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis staged their first show as comedians? And that in 1965, Bob Dylan is booed by sections of the crowd at the Newport Folk Festival for performing with an electric guitar?
They're making a movie about that.
Are they really?
Yep.
How cool. 1966, the Supremes released their single, You Can't Hurry Love. And in 1969, Ed Kennedy pleads guilty to leaving the scene of an accident. And we remember that's Chappaquiddick in a car accident that killed Mary Jo Kopechne. And in 2016, Verizon announces a $4.83 billion purchase of Yahoo. Right? Amazing. All right, so we've accomplished a lot here tonight, this afternoon. We got a lot done. We had a guest, Wendy Wiiks, remind you about Shoalin Farms. You could pick blueberries on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays in the morning. What is it, 8 to 11, I said? Mm-hmm. I had my little notes here. It's, I don't believe myself. It's 8 to 11. And Starburst coming up the 27th, and I say that because this show might show after the 27th, and I don't want to be telling you it's next Saturday, but it's Saturday. Handicap parking on Pre Street. You know, we've got the rail trail now, so you can park other places and walk down the rail trail. How's that? What's better than that? Walk down the rail trail, and fireworks around 9 o'clock. Let's see, we're going to have Neurotic Gumbo performing right up into the fireworks, and then going to be a nice display, and a big thank you to, as I said, Leominster Credit Union for their sponsorship of and all the other businesses that help us sponsor Starburst. All right, you're not going anywhere there, but we are out of time. Yes. I want to thank the whole crew at Inside Leominster. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back here next week, obviously, and I guarantee you that. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. Good night. God bless you. Remember, the world is run by those who show up. You need to show up. Good night.
Inside Leominster is brought to you in part through the generous support of N.P. Crowley Company Incorporated and by DeCarolis Insurance Agency Incorporated, DeCarolisInsuranceAgency.com, and by Enterprise Bank. Enterprise Bank creates success. EnterpriseBanking.com.
This is LTV.